Alright guys, so I decided to do an Audacity tutorial. For those of you that are like me and need a really easy, kind of dumbed down tutorial. Now I don't know everything about Audacity, nor do I know everything about enhancing sounds and cleaning them and all that good stuff, but I know the basics. So if you want to get out there and record your own audio and download it into Audacity, which is a free program, you can do so, and I'm just going to go through some basics to kind of help you out, show you what to look for. So first you're going to download Audacity if you don't already have it. This is what it looks like. You may notice that my color scheme may look different than yours. I'll give you a better example of that. Let's drop a file in there. So all you got to do is take a file, drop it in. Okay, normally it'll show up right here, but since I already had a file there that I was messing with, I forgot to delete. I'll delete that. So there you go, there it is right there. And if you don't want to do the drag and drop, you can just go to File and import some audio. We've already done it, so we're not going to do that. Now, as you'll notice, this is on a waveform here, and what we want to see here is spectrogram. So this is really easy. You're just going to go right here, click that down arrow, go to spectrogram. As you can see, it changes it. This is a lot easier for us to see signatures in it, all the noises. As if you're looking at a spectrogram, it's just going to be impossible. You'll just have to listen to every second of it to see if you can find something. That'll take you forever. So as you'll notice, it layered two of them. There's both the same audio on top and on the bottom. Why it does that, I don't know. It doesn't always do that, but sometimes it does. So when it does, just go to this middle line here, left click, pull it down. So now you just focused on the one. And if you want to make the screen even bigger, just pull this screen down. You can see better. Okay. Now back to the color scheme. So you can see the color scheme I've got is this nice red and blue going on here. I just like it better than the default. But I'll show you how to change that here. Once again, you'll just go to that drop down. Spectrogram settings is now lit up because you're in spectrogram mode. Click on it. And right here you can see colors. I don't mess with any of this gain, range, high boost, nothing like that. But yours will probably already be on grayscale by default. Show you what that looks like. That's your default. But me, I prefer the color. So it's really just a matter of personal preference. So I click grayscale, take it off. You got algorithms, window size, window type, zero padding factor. I don't know what any of that is, so I'm not going to pretend to. All I mess with is the color. Hit OK. Takes me back to my color scale. Alright, so if you look over here, it starts at 0, goes up to 1200, which is default, I believe, and that's hertz. Up here where it says 0, 15, 30, 45, those are your seconds. Because this is only about 2.5 minutes long here, this audio that I've got selected in here. Now, let's do something. If I can, and I can't, but normally you can put some audio in here, that may only cover this much right here and stop right there. But you want to make it to where it fits this whole area, and you can see the signatures a whole lot better. All you would do is double click that area, hit this plus sign, and that zooms to fill. It fills this area. But since we're not going to zoom this one in, we're going to just go back one. For some reason that took the whole thing out. I don't know why, it shouldn't have. Change it back to spectrogram. Take this back down. Oops. Make the window a little bigger for us older people. All right, so the next thing is down here is your slider. As you'll notice, it's almost in the middle. So what you're seeing, this is not the front or the start of your audio. So you always want to make sure that you can double click, hit the left key, and it'll take your cursor all the way to the beginning over here, right here. Now when you get a whole file of audio, let's say it's 9 hours of recordings, and you just put the whole thing in here. It took forever to download into Audacity because it does take a while. And so now you've got 9 hours file sitting here, and there's, you're not going to see everything in it unless you first turn it to spectrogram, and then you're going to have to start amplifying the whole file. The way you do that, you just double click the whole thing. Go to this plus, click it, and depending on your computer, it may say up here, not responding, just wait, it will. And then when you can click this again, you'll click it again. And basically what you want to do is just keep clicking it till your cursor gets about, your slider gets about this big. Hit your left arrow key to put it back at the beginning. And you're looking up here. This is 2 seconds. You can see it hauls butt. But we don't want 2 seconds. But because this was only a 2.5 minute file, it shows 2 seconds. What I like to do is I like to get this to where it's around anywhere between 7 to 11 minutes. It'll say 7 or 11 right around here. So that means that this area you're looking at is 7 minutes of audio. And you'll see the signatures in here. You'll see them very easily. So let's go back out. And I don't know why it keeps doing that. I probably need to restart Audacity, but I'm not going to do that. Back to spectrogram. Stretch it out. Let's take it back to its normal size. We're going to hit the Linus magnifier. Okay, so now we're back to normal. So now you want to do is, let's say we see the signature right here. We're not 100% sure what it is. So the first thing you want to do is click a few seconds before it. Hit your space bar. That usually just, it's a hotkey and it plays it. Turn up your volume. Okay, you hit your space bar again. Just takes it right back to where it started, right here. Hit it again, it'll play it again. Okay, now something before I start amplifying that to try to figure out what it is and maybe see the signature better and all that. This is called dead space here. And if you've got a really good recorder, your recording is going to be really clean looking. This is really clean looking, but you're looking at it and going, that's not clean. Well, this because this is either a plane or an automobile. These lines that go all the way across. It's either a plane or an automobile that went by somewhere near the recorder, so you're going to get that showing up no matter what. But if that car is not there, you're going to have nice clear blue like this. Now your background noise, crickets, etc., is going to show up down here, but you can see some down in here. Okay, and I say car because this is what it always looks like. A plane will actually be more of something starting up here and going down like that as it passes over. But what I want to do is I want to take out this dead space because I'd like to amplify this whole thing. But I don't need to amplify a car. So this I'm interested in. These I want to listen to. So let's take out our dead space. You just highlight that, which you just left click and drag it, and then hit your delete button. Gone. So come right here. Let's take this out. I am curious to see what this is right here. So I'll keep that for now. Delete. Take all this out. Delete. Now this is probably something we're not interested in at all because the signature is just way off from normal animal. Because as you can see, it's got these lines that go through and they go up, 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 and they start to thin out, but they keep going up. And that's usually an indication of something mechanical or motorized. So let's play it and see. Okay, so as you can see from what you just heard, that was a train. They usually always look like that, and they'll look a little different if you're far from a train, but once you start doing this a lot, you're going to start recognizing certain things. You'll be able to recognize coyotes, of course, because they're everywhere. Owls, you'll recognize, of course, because they're everywhere. Foxes, you'll start to recognize foxes. And basically, after you've done this for a little while and you can recognize these signatures, you kind of know what you're looking for, something that doesn't look right. And like, let's take this for example right here. It looks like it's a signature going straight across. And I read somewhere a long time ago, and I do not recall the website, but it was having to do with Sasquatch vocals. In that website, it stated that, it was giving you a little bit of a tutorial, and it said, looking for Sasquatch vocals, you want to look for straight across signatures, so usually between the frequency of 4 to, I think it said 800 hertz, right here. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is I want to point out, yes, that is true. There are some straight signatures, but that's implying that Sasquatch only makes one vocal. Let's just be real. Us that have been out there, those that have heard it and know what it was, you know that these things make several different vocalizations. Now, there are some that are the most commonly heard, yes, absolutely. But I don't want you to think, well, if you see a signature and it's not straight across, well, I'm not even going to mess with it. No, check it. Because that doesn't mean that it's not a Bigfoot. Now, I've seen Bigfoot whistles, up and down signature, going straight up, down. I've seen signatures almost like coyotes, but clearly not a coyote because of the lung capacity on it. And as you do this more and more and more, you're going to start to see all these little signatures, and you'll recognize them. You'll even start to pick up on people talking, or if something was talking by the recorder, you'll be able to see the little lines going up, little broken lines, and that's usually somebody talking. But like I said, the more you do it, the more you're going to learn. But let's focus on this right here for right now. Okay, and if you guys hear a little tap, tap, tap in the background, that's my lab. Those that have been out with me or anybody on the team know that Lab is my Sasquatch dog. Almost getting time for him to retire. Those hind legs are getting bad from playing ball for so many years, unfortunately. But no matter what, he'll still be out there with me if he's just laying around guarding the campfire or what. But he'll be out there. All right, so we're going to play this. It's not amplified or anything right now. I do have the computer volume all the way up. Make sure it's all the way up. Yep, it's all the way up. So as you can see, that was hard to hear. Now, usually when you go over audio, you're going to have my headphones on, plugged into your port here. And I used to do that. Of course, I had a lot of sound pollution in my own house, kids and all that back then. So, I kind of had to. Nowadays, I don't even bother. I usually just hook up Bluetooth speaker to this laptop, and I'll play it through that. It's amazing. You hear everything. And also, you know, if I've got to strain myself and listening to headphones to try to strain for what I'm listening to, that's not even worth posting. I don't even want to hear it. I just like the audio that it can come out pretty clear. You can hear it without all that strain of headphones. So what we're going to do is we're going to amplify this because we want to see what's going on there. So we got a couple of options here. Maybe we want to get a better picture of this signature. Highlight it. Always start a few seconds before and a few seconds after. Now let's highlight. Okay, you can highlight even more if you want. Okay, so now we can see pretty good. And yeah, it is pretty straight. There's something right there that draws off a little bit. So let's play it again. Okay, so you can hear whatever that is draw off here, going down in this low tone. And you can see all this afterwards is primarily probably going to be echo reverberation traveling through the forest there. But we definitely need to amplify it. So first, let's go back. And this is probably going to do the same thing it did before. Yep. Yeah, sorry, I should have reset my Audacity before we did this, but that's okay. It's not a big program. You can see it easily. Apparently it wants to stay stretched out. Let's see if we can take care of that here. Let's just double tap this whole thing. Down, down, down. I'm good with that. Left click to the beginning. All right, now we want to amplify it. Now the question is, do you want to amplify just one signature? Check one thing out at a time, or do you want to amplify the whole thing? We'll do the easiest part first. Let's say we're going to amplify the whole thing. Same thing, double click, highlight it all. Go to Effect, Amplify. You're going to get this thing that pulls up. It's going to start with a default number, whatever it thinks is best. I normally never use that number, but it is pretty clear, so I'm not going to go too much further than that, but I'll usually start out at about 20, depending on how close and how clear the audio is. I don't mess with this. I don't mess with allow clipping. Now, if you want to preview this before you say OK, you can do that. But be sure you turn your volume down first, because you don't know how loud that's going to be when you play it on your laptop. Hey, that background sound sounds good. It sounds clear and it's amplified. So let's try that 20. Okay, like I said, start with your volume down a little lower, and then adjust as you play. Play it again. And now, to me, in my opinion, this is an owl. Do Sasquatch mimic owls? Sure they do. They mimic all kinds of stuff. I can't say that that's what's happening here. To me, because we can see the signature in a different way here, it just kind of spikes up and down. My best guess is that's an owl. Usually when you see owls here on the spectrogram, their signature is very, very easy to detect. So let's see what this is. So I want to point out, this kind of further pushes my thought that this is an owl. Usually you're going to hear an owl go first, and then the rest of them will go. You'll hear them soon after. Very cool to hear out in the forest. I've had people think that these were monkeys out in the forest when they really get going. It's pretty cool. I'll actually be putting a video out later on with that sound in it so people will know what they're hearing, the barned owl. But there was something we need to hear here. So you can hear the owls here, but we heard something else too. Let's check that. Okay, so it was actually right here. Did you hear it? If not, let's try it again. Now, my first thought comes to mind is it sounds like a cat. Let's take this out. We don't need it anymore. We know it's owls unless you want to keep that audio. I'm going to keep this guy over here because I want to show you something else in a minute. We're going to get that out of there. We don't need it. This guy, we can probably amplify slightly more. Don't go much because you're already amplified. So let's not go more than 10. You see how that looks when it's super amplified? That's when you know you really need to turn that volume down. Let's play that again, but I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit. Now, see, you amplify it more, and then you kind of think, I don't know if that's a cat or not, but right now I'm going to stick with, yeah, that's a cat. But I know the area this recording came from. This recording is from a team member named Daryl. I'm not going to say his last name, but he's got some pretty good recordings out there made here recently this year. And I'm actually going through some of them right now. I'm very impressed with some of the things he captured. So thank you, Daryl, for this audio. And let's keep going. Now, before we do, remember we amplified this whole thing. Like you just saw an example of what if I just wanted to amplify one signature. You just hold the left click button, left mouse button, highlight, let go, effect, amplify, whatever you want to amplify. I'm not going to hit OK here. I'm going to hit cancel because we've already amplified it. Okay, so, and I'm going to show you a little other trick here in a minute too. But let's play through this and see if we can hear anything. Okay, I wanted to stop it there. We don't need this whole thing. But that further solidified my opinion that that's a cat. Now let's see, we already know this is a train here. All right, so now let's focus on something a little different. First, let's expand this out to where it fits the entire window again. And I think earlier I said if you want to expand small audio like this, if you download it and it shows up like this, you hit this plus button, this magnifier, zoom, but no. This one right here, see these bars on the bottom? They represent expanding this out. See, it's expanded to fit the whole page now. So now we've already amplified it, and say we got a lot of background noise going on there. There's a couple of options. Double click, effect, and you know, just people use different things for this. Some people like noise reduction. Just click on noise reduction, get the noise profile. You have to do that. Get the noise profile. And now you have the noise profile. Go to effect again. Noise reduction. You already got it. Step 2, noise reduction. You can play with all these little bars and see if you can find it how you like it to see if that helps with your background noise. But we're not going to do that. So I'm going to cancel this. Go back to Effect. Some people like the high pass filter. This is, I believe, for more of the noise pollution that is a higher tone. Let's say like birds, for example, but don't quote me on that. But you can also use this in the same way, where you can mess with these two things and see if it'll affect your background noise that you're trying to clean up a little bit. But you can hit preview every time, play with these numbers, hit preview. Something to make it a little easier. Let's say we want to hear this guy right here, but the background noises are there. So let's just highlight him. Effect, high pass filter. You can play with these in here. Preview. Let's go 24 decibels, see what difference it makes. A little bit of a difference, but let's take it back to where it's already at. I'm not going to mess with that one. Cancel. This is one I like to use a lot, but you don't have to. You can use one of the other two if you'd like. Low pass filter. The last audio I was working on, I had it set at 400 hertz and 6 decibel. Let's preview that for this portion here, see what happens. See all that background noise? It's gone. So before I do this, let's play it with the background noise in it. You can hear all the cricking and crackling. All right, highlight it, effect, low pass filter, make your setting, preview. A lot of that's gone. One thing you don't want to do is overdo it here, because if you overdo it too much, it's going to start to make the signature sound change a little bit. And it can also make it sound like it's further away. So you got to be careful with this. And that rule pretty much applies for all of these effects that you can do to try to clean it up a little bit. Hit OK. It's taken effect. You saw the color change here. You can see how this is different from this. So you see a big difference there where the low pass filter has been applied, because now you can pretty much only hear the signature. Now, does it always work that great? No, it doesn't. Sometimes you just get, man, you get nights where things are just so loud, or maybe it's just super windy that night, or maybe the crickets are having a party. Maybe the frogs are partying with the crickets. It gets pretty crazy on audio sometimes. But that's the gist of that. Let's get to where we want to save some audio. Okay, so let's say we have downloaded 9 hours of audio here. We did what we had to do with it. We highlighted it all, started to zoom in on it to make this segment here between 7 to 11 minutes, and that's what I do. You can go 4 or 5 minutes if you want, whatever you want to do. That's totally up to you. It's personal preference. But we did that, and we got it where we wanted, and our slider down here is pretty much right in the middle when we finish that. So stay highlighted, hit your left cursor button, takes you to the beginning. Now you're going to go and you're looking through audio and you find this, and it's not an owl, it's something more interesting. Now, do you want to save the whole file? No, you just put the whole file in there. But you want to take this piece out. Always start about 10 seconds before it. Left click, highlight, 10 seconds after it. Just like that. Now you can pull this out before you've amplified it or anything. That way you have an original copy. It's a smart thing to do if anybody ever wants to look at your audio. I have made this mistake so many times in the past where I've saved it and I've already amplified it and does noise reduction, all that good stuff. And then I don't have the original because after I got done going through all this 9 hours of audio, I got it off my computer. Done. I didn't want to see it anymore. So always make sure you save it as an original first, and then come back and do your amplifications, and your filters, and then highlight it when you're done with that, just like this. File, upper left, export. Don't hit save project, just hit export. Very important. Export selected audio. There. This is the file I want to put it in. Save. This is going to pop up. It's a default thing. Just hit enter, click OK, whatever. That's done. And if you got a whole bunch of audio, you would just take more of it. Same thing applies. But it's also very important. Once you hit File, Export, Export selected audio. If you're one of those that actually remember to date and time and place your audio, this is where you want to change that at to, let's say it was in the Sam Houston National Forest area. This was by the Dead End Gate. I know what I'm talking about when I say that. By Dead End Gate, January 12. And when you looked at your audio, you counted your 7 minutes and more. You keep track of the time, so you know you got this audio about 1 a.m. So I just put 1 a.m. and done. Save it. You're good to go. Now that way you got all the information on this audio. You don't have to look at it later and be like, what the hell is this? And when did I get this? You've got it tagged. You need to keep it tagged. It comes in real handy later. Okay, people, don't make my mistakes. We're used to. I would just save it, and then later I'd be like, I don't know where the hell this came from. I don't even remember this audio. When you've heard so much audio, it gets to be like, I don't remember where this one came from. It sounds like something else I got it from another place. I don't know. Okay, so we were using examples with that other audio, and that's of an owl. But what I wanted to do was show you an actual Sasquatch vocal, or what we highly believe is Sasquatch vocal. Excuse me. But this audio was also from Daryl, a team member for TAPS, and he got this in Sam Houston National Forest. So once again, thank you, Daryl, for sending us this audio. He's got some really good stuff, and I'm still going through some of it, but so far it's really great. But the good thing about this is I can give you an example of that straight signature I was talking about. Just keep in mind that they're not all going to be straight. Matter of fact, rarely do I ever see them completely straight. It does happen with this type of vocal that you're fixing to hear. And another thing is I wanted to give you all those examples that I'm giving you with actual Sasquatch audio. So first thing we want to do, size this to the window because there's another vocal over here, but you can't see it. Alright, so we fit it to the window. It's totally up to you if you want to take out the dead space. I'm going to take it out just for practical purposes here. I'm going to refit this to the window again. You can see these signatures a lot better now. And remember, before you start messing with this, save the original. Showed you how. Double click, highlight all, file, export selected audio, tag it, name, location, date. You can even put moon phases and weather. That way you can track that along with Sasquatch activity if you're camping out there. Okay, I'm not going to save it because I already have. Alright, so let's save. Now we can start messing with it. So let's just play this in its original format, volume all the way up. So as you can see, you can hear it pretty good, but that's volume all the way up. But we'd still like to hear it a lot better than that. So double click, effect, amplify. Default is wanting 17, but I'm going to live on the edge here. I'm going to go out to 27. Preview it. Now I'm going to turn the volume down and play it, and I'll increase the volume as needed. Okay, so now what we want to do is apply our filters for noise reduction to get some of this background noise out. So just the same as I showed you before. You can select the audio that you want to do, the signatures, or the whole thing. I'm going to do the whole thing. Go to Effect, whichever filter you prefer, whether it's noise reduction, high pass filter, low pass filter, but once again, low pass filter is what I prefer. Okay, we've already got it preset here to the last audio I did, so I'm going to preview that and see if it's okay. Okay, so that sounds perfect, so I'm going to hit OK. As you can see, the colors have changed a little bit. A lot of the background noise is gone, so we know it's worked, but now the true test is just to go ahead and play it. Okay, so there you go. That worked very well. The signature noises that we're targeting are a lot more clear and precise. Now, if you get those settings too high in the low pass filter, as well as some of those other noise reduction filters, you can sometimes start to change the tone of the vocal, and you can also kind of make it dissipate a little bit. As you can see here, the amplification got a little bit lighter. So we'll just have to test it and see what it did. All right, so as you can see, we took quite a bit of the background noise out. It could have taken a little bit more, but you just got to kind of play with it to see what works best for that selected audio that you're examining. But I'm pretty happy with this right here. So if I wanted to save this whole thing, I can, or I can just take out the portion I want to save. But for all practical purposes, I'm going to save the whole thing. Remember, file, export selected audio. And this is important also. So remember to put kind of the same tag you did on the original audio, but on this one you want to put something, a side note, like amplified, cleaned, something along those lines, so you know that this is not the original audio. Then you hit save. I'm not going to do that. I already have it. Cancel. And there you have it. So now we'll go back to the basics video again and finish that one out. Anyways, that is pretty much the basics on that. All this other stuff, I don't mess with it. I never have. I use whatever comes as defaults. You can mess with these as much as you want, but a lot of these here are for people that are generating tracks or podcasts or something like that. No, we're not doing that. We're just analyzing audio on spectrogram. Use the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. So don't get into stuff that you don't need to be getting into. You may just confuse yourself. Also, there's a whole lot of Audacity tutorials on YouTube. That's how I learned a lot, was going through those. And also a lot of it was from trial and error. But this will just help you out with getting it. And I'll put another video together later, not right now, of different signatures and stuff. So maybe it'll help you recognize some things that you're looking at. And so that's it for now. So I tell you, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope this helped some of you out. And as a thank you, I would definitely appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, liked it, shared it, and hit us up on Facebook or Instagram by using the icons on the YouTube channel page. And once again, thanks for watching, guys.